Huh, interesting. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. We got Dallin and Paulo in the chat. All right, let's talk about what we got going on here, folks. Let's see if I can get my... All right. Okay. We're live, we're hot. It's another Monday, beginning of the week. Another opportunity to get after it. Another opportunity to get a little bit better, make some money, get closer to our dreams. Right? Take a risk. CHK. Welcome to the party. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. I have not heard back from MFF yet on the accounts. I'll check in with them. Honestly, I haven't even checked it either, but they're pretty good about that. So if you want one, they're coming. Those should get to you today. Let's go ahead and get into this planning. I do have a busy day today. So let's just start with the overnight long. So I did take a trade overnight. We're already green on the day. Let's see how much I took on that trade. I shared it on Instagram if you want to see my original bracket. Yeah, I did about $3,000 on that long. So literally just longed from here to the naked POC, right? So let me clean this up really quickly, our little planning area. And we'll just make a new section and we'll just call this last night, okay? So this was just like a game time read. There wasn't a plan here, right? This does fit into kind of the overall what's happening or what has been happening. Okay, we had what is, wait, let me make sure my stream is not behind here. I think it's good. Yeah, okay, we're good. We've been ranging. We're still, there's a very obvious range up here. Okay, so in a ranging market like this, there is plenty of opportunity for us as traders. Okay, naked POC retest, mean reversion trades all over the freaking place. All right, so we got to be ready to clean these up. So gap down, right? Market open. I'm sure a gazillion people chase this on the short side. Fool's errand, right? If you've done just even a light amount of journaling and listen to what I say, guys, around news and all that, you'll know not to get smoked on moves like this, okay? So market gaps down, immediately comes for liquidity, right? Let's just go ahead and use our replay tool. Market gaps down, okay? And immediately comes back to the POC. I did not hold it long, right? Because I am short biased based off of that weekly thesis still, okay? Just for that, this PT down here. So we'll see. We'll see if we get it this week. In terms of data for this week, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Long settlement to the naked POC. Snagged, 150 points on that one, right? Nice 150 points. Out the gate there. Not a bad way to start, okay? Pretty classic. POC trade. Let's take a look at the weekly. All right, so we're going to start on the weekly here. We're actually going to go to ES first, though. Go to the 1 week. See what we've got. Okay, ES on the weekly. We can see here pushing lower. So my weekly thesis, for anybody who forgot, this is kind of the joy of the daily planning. We don't have to go back to it. Let's explain it real quick. High volume, close. Where are my little tools at? Where are they? Oh, here they are. Straight up old man moment right now, guys. High volume down candle close after sweeping, okay, weekly high and the edge of a shelf, right? So there's a very obviously pronounced node right here, right? This is a group of people. This is liquidity. Okay, as an auction market theory trader, trade around liquidity, really the only thing that I care about. So I said very likely we have a delayed reaction to this close because we're in an uptrend. So we have a down signal in an uptrend. It's going to have a slower reaction to it. So we actually did close the next week red. I was expecting this to close green. Still close as a doji. So we got a double doji here coming down. So we can see here that there is a shelf, a little area right here, right? That I could see us going to, and then there's just also this price target lower. Either of these, I'll just mark this as PT1 as well, okay? Either of these would be a good swing low target, and then there's obviously this little low right here, right? So I'm going to take a photo of this right here, and on my macro, I'm just going to say on the weekly, okay, still playing the swing short thesis based off the weekly close, expecting it to take some time. Now, I have a really good entry on NQ, so I am big chilling. I've been day trading this in some of my accounts, so then in my swing account, I've just been holding short, and you can see how that's playing out for me, right? Okay, pretty easy stuff, right? Classic trade in our system. Yeah, signal candle, edge of a shelf, edge of a node, edge of the volume profile, VPE. Okay, that's why we call it the volume profile edges. Volume profile edge right here with a signal candle, right? Nice little trade here. Tons of people got smoked on this, but yeah, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of people making mistakes. Most people suck at trading, so that's not surprising. All right, let's go to the 1 day. All right, so Orhill, what's up? Qua, what's up? Sake's links, what's up? Like the stream if you don't mind, guys. Push those likes up. It's actually really helpful for the algorithm. And I am trying to spread the good news of VPE. So on the daily, we had the double doji kind of signal on the daily. This is a weird double doji though. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's the trend line in here that I'll just leave here on this time frame. There's quite a few lines on my charts. I'm gonna leave them here. It's more than I normally would keep. That's okay, right? We don't need the one higher. Actually, that's a waste of time. And we don't really need this 59.81. This was a prior support, right? This was a level traded off of, but we don't really need that. It is kind of the edge of the shelf, but we quite frankly don't really need that anymore, okay? Maybe we'll just leave it there just for, you know, shits and giggles. Okay, so on the daily, we're pushing. What I'm looking for is just more structure in the VP here. Okay, volume. Okay, last week we did close this doji here. This doji did sweep this low, right? Higher volume. It is a down candle though. So this is a little weird right here. Okay, I just want to call this out on this day time frame. Okay, we could see some serious chop like today. It is also Monday. Okay, copy this. So we'll come to our on the daily. Okay, we had the Friday close as a high volume doji that did sweep the low. this could fight our weekly thesis a bit and create shot. Okay. Now, just outside of all of this, we should mention that, Israel shot some missiles, USA shot some missiles, okay? War stuff. More war stuff, let's get it right. More war stuff means we could see some seriously fast candles, okay? Now, the candles are still going to adhere to the market, right? But we can still get some really fast candles. Can't see the correct time frame on my chart. What do you guys see? Should see it. Let me see here. What do you guys see? Do you see it now? Or is it still showing? Oh, it is showing the wrong time frame. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Yeah, my stream just, or my, very interesting. Hold on, folks. Let me fix that for you. Alrighty. Yeah, it literally just fully bugged out for some reason. It was not showing what I was actually streaming. Okay, there you go. All right. So that could fight a little bit. We have all the war stuff, but we did get this nice double doji. Structurally, there's not really anything here on the daily that's separate from the weekly that is, worth mentioning, right? So I'll clean up this arrow. We don't really need that. And I am just going to get rid of this line. We don't really need it. I want a clean chart. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, now we have some fun stuff. We have a very obvious kind of cycle here on the 4 hour. Okay, see the ranginess on the 4 hour. We just retested this POC on, it was blowing me up, dude. Sorry guys, I'm getting text out the wazoo. Okay, so we have this very obvious range on the 4 hour. Okay, we can see the up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, kind of going on here, right? Rangy, that's a terrible arrow. Rangy price action here. So I'm expecting us to stay rangy, right? And I am expecting us still to push lower because of the weekly thesis. Today, we have flash manufacturing at 9:45. So we got to keep in mind that we are going to get a candle here right after the open. So the open is going to be a little bit weird today. We have flash manufacturing at 9:45. Let's just write that down. Flash manufacturing, 9:45 a.m. And I'm going to put that in my tags. I'll do flash manufacturing PMI. Okay. So all of these different data events, we can add as tags, and then it's easy for us to filter them later, right? By the way, if you don't have this template, go to the link stand.store/trading with Forrest. It's at the bottom of my stream there, highlighted. It's also, I think, linked. So here on the 4 hour, which I call a lower time frame, right? If you're new here, you're probably like 4 hours low for you. Yes, it is. 4 hour is a low time frame, believe it or not. Okay. The reason I was able to get 150 points, by the way, I'm already up 150 points on the day, taking that long, is because we trade the higher time frames. Okay. It's so much easier, to capture these big trades when you trade the higher time frames. And what's cool about it is even though you trade less, Okay, other people are going to be fighting to catch up to me, right? Because they're going to be taking 20, 30-point scalps, 15-point scalps. I'm already up 150 points, okay? So if your goal in trading is to make money, it's not to execute trades, okay? Executing trades is ultimately how you'll make money, but your primary goal is making money. So you have to ask yourself, what's the optimal way to do that? Well, it's going to be trading higher time frames. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10. Okay. Anyways, there's a low value area right here, and we see this node down here. So let's just mark up some key levels here. Okay. So we have, I'm not going to leave these on here, by the way. I'm just going to show them so we can see what we're talking about. So we have the prior day low. Really, prior day low was here, but we have overnight low here. Overnight high is right here. Prior day high is here. Okay, and prior day low is again off the table. Prior day low would have been right there. We already took out prior day low. Okay, so in our system, there are some I can explain our system in about 30 seconds actually. Super simple at a high level. Okay, we take trades at an edge with a signal candle, okay, or just at edges in general for lower tier trades. Okay, so what's the VPE all about, right? Volume profile edge, the system that I trade. It's just there's some obvious edges in the market. I'm not going to break it all down for you, but prior day low, we know last man theory applies there. Prior day high, last man theory applies there as well, right? So these edges in the market are the simplest, easiest, most brain off places to take a trade. If I was going to long, it makes sense to do it after we sweep the prior day low, not at the highs. Same if I want to short, it makes sense to short one of these edges. So we have overnight high, prior day high, still to take out. Okay, let's mark this up. Prior day high, overnight high. Ugh. Ugh. Overnight high. I think I have brain damage, guys. I literally can't type. Overnight high and overnight low. I was up like vibe coding / programming a lot last night. Okay, so these are our 4 areas to take a trade. So on the 4 hour here, I'm looking at my chart and I'm thinking, okay, if I add the session volume profile real quick, we already did the naked POC retest, right? So that was my initial trade, right? The mean reversion to the POC. Okay, it looks like I left some money on the table, could have held it a little bit longer, whatever, who cares? We rejected that. I think I'm still short biased. So what I should be thinking is, okay, we looks like we came up, we traversed this node a little bit. That would have been a good short if I wasn't already short. I'm already swinging short to go for lower, okay? On this time frame, we have a very skinny belly from overnight, and we also have this edge up here, 6,051, right? So we traversed most of this node up to the value area high, but we didn't traverse it all the way. So while there is some candlestick structure here, right, volume profile structure here, there still is a very pronounced edge here in the VP at 6,052, 6,051. Okay, I'll just draw a little arrow for it. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down those thoughts. Okay, do a little screenshot, and we'll just say, well, we did already hit the naked POC. The daily candle I mentioned earlier could fight my weekly today, which could look like us traversing this node higher today. Okay, am I going to trade off of that? No, I already took the A trade long here, and I have no desire to do this little chop thesis. I'm just calling out what is possible based off what I see. You'll see that a lot. I say a lot of stuff. You look at my streams, and I know people trade off these because a lot of of it plays out. I won't, unless it's at an edge or something. I'm very likely not taking that trade, guys. I'll let you know right now. So even if you can read the market, doesn't mean you have to take the trade. The reason I don't take all those trades is because they're lower quality trades, and I like to play the market like it's poker, right? I like to only play good hands. Let's go over to NQ really quickly. So we have the weekly. I've got about 15 minutes, and I gotta go and do my morning huddle with my team here. Also, exciting news. Our business is growing, so we're moving to I think I already said this, but we're moving to a new space, which would be pretty cool. Let's go to the 4 hour on NQ. Let's clean this up a bit. I don't even know what this line's for, so we probably don't need it. So let's see if there's any obvious structure here really quickly. Get rid of my session volume profile. Go ahead and mark up a trend line. There's one there. I don't see any other obvious trend lines in this time frame that I really need to have. We also have this gap down here still lower, right? All right, so this is my price target on the swing, right? Just traversing this node. Traversing this node and coming for the sweep, right? That's why my PT2 is down there. We do have these lower lows here, right? So there's this little trend line here, and looks like we do have this shelf right here. Okay, 21,482. Let's put that as a little level lower, and then we already did the thesis higher, right? So let's do PT1 here. And on NQ, we have a node below we just dipped into and bounced out of. Just marked the PT1 lower here as well for the node traversal. Cool. We'll go to the 1 hour. I'm getting real low with it. Top trend line from the 11th on the 4 hour. What we got here? Okay, that's fine. Top trend line from the 11th on the 4 hour. Let's take a look here. From back here. Yeah. I think that's the one I just removed. Can't remember. This was that nice short from the other day off that trend line. So this is a nice trend line, right? This is actually an amazing short on that day. There's a nice little trend line there. We can leave it on there. Nothing really here on the 1 hour, so I'm not going to play the open. Okay, there's not really even anything that I want to mark here. I'll just put the 1 hour chart here just for reference at this time. 1 hour at 8:16 a.m. There's nothing really to note here. So my action plan for today, okay, is wait until 10 a.m. specifically looking to see if the data at 9:45 slaps us below the prior day low. Okay, so I want to see if we get very bearish, or let's just write out the other use cases here. So we can say, or we chop, right? Which I'm not really going to do anything with if we chop. If we pop higher, there is a trend line there. Looking for PT1 today if we crack prior day low. I'm already short. I already have exposure short, so I don't really need to do anything on the short side. I mean, I will if we get another touch this trend line, like I'll take a short in my other accounts, but we'll see. We shall see. Any questions? Been a very, 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 very good 7 days or so for me. No questions. That's crazy. Let's see what we got here. Let's check out platinum on the daily. Platinum still squeezing higher. Okay, swept that level, did that initial kind of push. Still chopping up here. Not much really to do here if you look at platinum on the weekly. Yeah, it's top wicking on the weekly, but it's still up here. Swept these highs over here, right? This is that high sweep. And we have some more highs over here that it could go for right at this price. Let's look at gold. Very similar structure on gold, though gold is at all-time highs. Very interesting. Okay. Phone is blowing up. Any questions, folks? Nah, we'll just hang out until the market open here. Crude gapped up. Yeah, a lot of the futures gapped, quite frankly. Okay, we had an overnight war situation, so also it's just settlement money. I mean, it's not uncommon to gap on Sundays at all. Overnight long, where should I set the stop loss? Yeah, we can talk about that. So CCL came, swept some highs, right? And then came and rejected. Let's just go to the daily. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. My bar colors are all bugged out. Gapped up, came back down, smacked the POC. It's literally just the opposite, right? It's gapped up, you take the short on CL. Easy money there. Let's talk about the overnight trade. So, where would I set my stop? Let's get some structure in here. My cat's trying to break my door down. I had my stop just below this candle, so I didn't get in right off the rip. I got in. I'll have to check my actual time. It was like a few minutes after, just a few minutes after the open. But as soon as I saw that we gapped down, I'm thinking mean reversion. Okay, let me get my replay tool. I'm already in it. And I actually need to go to, let's just go to the 5 minute. All right, so let's say you go long right here. Prior POC is up here. Okay, you can do the no traversal trade. I just got out at POC. Right, $3,000, $3,280. That's pretty close to exactly the trade I took, right? So I did not get in, pencil perfect. So your stop is just at the bottom of the candle. Really easy, right? So the reason your stop is here is your thesis basically is this is going to mean revert. We gap down off of some more news, right? You could say that, right? But it's a pretty aggressive gap down. You know that this thing is, people are chasing the heck out of this. Maybe you don't know that, but in general, on a candle like this at this time, right, specifically on a settlement open, you know people are chasing the hell out of this both ways. So there's going to be some funkiness, which is what we got. But it's absolutely not going to crack the low of the candle. We didn't have this trend line here either. Okay, so ignore that. We heard of that. Okay, so I just had my stop at the low of the candle, and you can see that it did pull back a little bit at some point, pretty sure. I was asleep, so I could have swore it pulled back a little bit more. I guess it didn't. Yeah, you know, did that. So yeah, we just had this kind of this flagging behavior, then it went higher. Easy peasy. Hey Forrest, what is my specific volume profile on the right, the gray one? Sure, I'll just share my chart with you guys. But that is the visible range volume profile. VRVP. And I've changed the colors and stuff like that. But if you use my chart link, it'll pretty sure give you exactly my setup. Okay. So oh man, early. I gotta figure out if YouTube will let me stream. I'm pretty sure it's gonna demonetize these videos, which is fine. I don't really care about that if I play music. I just want to make sure it doesn't like unlist my videos or something if I have music on them. I want people to at least participate and join, watch them, you know. So let's talk about this overnight VP real quick here, and let's look at both ES and NQ on this. The structure is very important. It's not something you want to ignore. So we have a very skewed and stretched out volume profile. It's very flat. Okay. There's not a ton of bias here. The bias compared to Friday, see how much bias there's in Friday's? Massive central node here. Okay. It's not really normally distributed, but there is a very clear node here in the middle. We do not have that here. So what you have to understand about this setup is that all of this, let me get my tool, all of this is open to getting retested. Literally the whole thing. Okay, and we have data at 9:45, so keep that in mind. When you lack bias like this, anything is open for grabs. So the only bias that would really matter is, you know, previous days, right? Higher time frame bias. But this VP itself, there's not really anything there. So we do have no, that's not naked, but yeah, that's really all I want to say on that. Just call that out here. Don't get smoked at 9:45. If you miss this long, okay, don't go chasing. Okay, chasing trades, you can't fix the trade by chasing a separate trade. Okay, it doesn't make any sense, right? If you miss the bus, you missed it. Okay, you can't catch it by jumping on another one. That's not how buses work, right? We girthed up. Yeah, we did. Got real girthy there. Real girthy there. Maybe I'll stream a little bit longer. I am gonna go on mute to take this call for 30 minutes, but up $1,200 on the funded from gap fill done for the day ski. Good job. Yeah, I'll stay on for a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump onto this call. I'm going to mute my microphone, and then I'll stay on till I'll come back on at like 9-ish. I'll just leave the stream open. Be back at like 9-ish, and we'll trade the open here. See what happens. We'll talk about it at least. Stay on until about 10. See what happens with the data. I'll walk you guys through it. Sound good? Hope it does. Hope it does, Ski. This is my little trading bot that I created. See if it doesn't explode right now. So I created an, it's not just a, you guys don't have access to this. If you guys have used ForceBot, it's a tool I created to do historical options analysis, right? So there's like a form. There's also like an AI view that only I can see it for now, but it's connected to a bunch of custom tools I wrote. It's really useful. I asked it the other day to show me all of the highest ROI. I've wired it up to like pull data from like the entire market. I'm working on making some of these public, but it just listed out in order the highest ROI across all option contracts across the entire market, and I can isolate that down to specific days. Then if I want to see a chart for it, I'll just say, show me a chart for this. It'll generate a chart. For me like that. I don't think you guys can see it fully, but kind of looks like this. There we go. Now you can see it. But yeah, that's integrated charts. And the other cool thing that I did is I've connected it to voice, which is kind of buggy. But my goal, my dream, the reason I started working on this is to have a completely hands-free AI trading assistant. And I'm almost there. I literally was up till 4 a.m. like both Saturday and Sunday working on this. There's just a lot of plumbing and stuff to do. Ooh, good song just came on. I gotta jump. How did I create a trading bot? I'm a software engineer by trade, so but I've been using AI heavily to just speed through this. I say it's nice when you actually can read code, because I can just fly, right? I'm just ripping through creating things, because I actually know I can ask it better questions, basically. Alrighty. All right. I will be back, folks. 30 minutes. I'm going to go on mute. Cooper, are you pooping?
Poops are a lot smaller because it's all wet poop. They're like a little bit much smaller pieces versus solid ones.
Are you pooping in the poop can? Oh goodness. Mr. Cooper. Not back on the screen for about 45 minutes. You have any meetings this morning?
I do, but I can take when I'm not in there. Not often.
I'll get back to it.
I will just turn my Wi-Fi on in a second.
No, you're fine. So close to it. You Gucci. Check, check. Alrighty, folks. Back like we never left. But as a matter of fact, we did leave. And that's what's pretty magical about it. I need a noise gate. What do you mean? I just turned my mic back on. I was unmuted the whole time? Oh, well. It was on? Like during my entire phone call earlier? You guys listened to my entire phone call. And you didn't say anything. Come on, guys. When I went for breakfast and came back, you guys gotta say something, man. You got to say something. Nah, this message in the stream chat. I'll see it. Now I turned this mic off. With this mic off, you shouldn't have been able to hear anything unless it's switched mics, which is crazy. It shouldn't be possible. But hey. My fault. I didn't see it. I did not see it. That's my fault. Nice little down candle on the open here. Coming down just a little bit. Remember what I said earlier? This is going to traverse most of the shelf. You just hear me chopping it up with my girl then? I don't know what you guys hear. Did you hear anything crazy? Anything crazy you heard? I don't think I said anything crazy. I'll be saying some crazy shit, y'all. I don't think I said anything crazy, though. If you did, well, now you know a little bit more about me. Now you know a little bit more about your boy, Forrest, the investor. I mean, got what I mean? All right. Let's get professional. We're professional traders here, folks. We are. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, we're professional traders. So it came down and we're just traversing this node. So we're building like a D shape. Okay, so we had a very, very kind of stretched out, skewed VP in the morning there. And we're ranging across it. So this should not be surprising here, this move. Hopefully it's not surprising to anyone. We have data in a few minutes, 15 minutes we have data. So we came down, we're filling in the VP here. I'm not going to live trade today. I will tomorrow. I need to log in, but I can't manage my trade and log in at the same time, quite frankly. I did short the top of this VP, little range trade here, coming down. And that's the VAL. It's another 100 points. Shit is too easy sometimes, I swear. So my TP was at the original VAL. It did just move down an inch here. This could go lower. I'm not going to hold it here before data. So nice little 100 point scalp. Just looking for this to range like it just did. There's probably some more room on this. ES has not touched its VAL yet. I need to reorganize the way I have this set up, actually, now I think about it. That's okay. Right now, I need to focus on making sure I don't make any dumb mistakes real quick. Nice little tap off the VAL there. Okay, and okay. There's one more thing I need to do. One more thing I need to do. There we go. All right, gamers, traders, people of the market, back at it again. Let's see if we can make a little bit of money. All right, so according to our plan, let's check the plan that we wrote earlier. If you missed the planning period, well, You're fucking up. Don't do that. We're ranging here. Okay, we still have the weekly doji that is in control. We're getting mind controlled by the weekly candle. Normally mind control is bad, but we want to keep the weekly candle in mind when we're trading the shorter time frame. So I'm still short bias now. Right now, technically, we're in the middle of a range. I took a little range traversal short here, right, while I was driving to go and get this nice little wrap. Yo, check out this wrap. Look at this. Nice wrap, guys. I'm about to put that inside me. Ooh, look at the bokeh on that. I'm using my Sony a7 IV with a 16mm prime lens, shooting at 1.8 aperture, by the way, for anybody, all my camera nerds out there. It's kind of far away from me, so whatever. And I'm heavily backlit. I'm at home. I'm not at the studio. Good camera, though. Bounce off VAL. We're coming back up. So rewind the stream. Go and read what I said earlier about this VP. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this looked like just a minute ago so you can see why this is happening. Okay, if you missed what I said earlier, let's go ahead and let's go back to about 750. It's like a perfect. Okay, let's look at the volume profile from earlier today. Okay, so this is coming into 8 a.m., right? Replay. We have this skewed or stretched out VP. Okay, not a ton of bias in it. Right? So if I see a VP like this, I'm thinking, compared to a VP like yesterday, any one of these is likely to get retested. Okay, so it comes up, it ranges higher. Well, replay just broke. We know what happened. It ranged up, and then it came back down, kissed the VAL, came back up, right? So they came in, and they just ranged across, filled in, and built volume across the entire value area. Please, the reason I was able to so easily predict that this was going to happen, say that it was very likely to happen, is because the market has to traverse value areas. It has to, right? It has to fill these in. The only way you get a D-shaped VP is by the market ranging across it and filling it in, right? So you see it came down, dipped lower, it came back in, and it filled this area. And we have all these candles here, right? It filled in this VP here. Okay, within this session, whatever this session was here, right? Actually, it looks like most of the session was here. So, and then you can start to predict what the VP is going to be on the day based off of the timing of sweeps. An example of that, right? We swept prior day low on settlement, technically, okay? The prior day low got swept, we gapped down, but we swept prior day low. So we swept prior day low, that's off the table. Most likely, we need to go and clean this up, this value area up here, right? So we swept this low, so we got to clean up this value area. Look what we did. Swept that low, we came up, tested the POC, came up right to here, okay? Cleaning up this value area. The market has to go to liquidity. It has to. Liquidity isn't this magic word, okay? I do what I rarely do. I was watching some other content from other traders, mostly for YouTube research purposes. So I'm trying to become better as a YouTuber, specifically. It's hard to help people if they don't know you exist. So I'm trying to get better at, top of funnel, getting myself out there. And there are a lot of magic words thrown around. So liquidity, we say, what is liquidity? Liquidity, okay? As an auction market theory trader, liquidity is just people, okay? People, right? Why does it matter where people are in the market? Class, can anyone answer in the chat why it matters where people are? Does anyone have an idea of why the positioning of people in the markets? It's a very simple answer, by the way. Do not overcomplicate it. Everything about my system is simple. Why does it matter? Can someone give me an example of why people's positioning matters? Any ideas? Auction market theory, conquistador. Okay, That's a little too high level. Technically correct. Max pain, max profit. Yes. Yes, the market is an auction. Okay. You guys are all thinking the same thing. We use ourselves as an example. This is the simplest way to think about it. Click 56, welcome. Okay. Welcome to the party. Oh, let me write down this to do. I'm going to refund this guy. Totally forgot to do it. Add it to my today to-dos. We need to add reminders in our Discord. Like the stream if you can. By the way, help a brother out. Highly appreciate it. So, max pay, max profit. What do we mean by that? Well, let's use an example. Let's go back to Friday, actually. All right, the market right now doesn't matter. We've got 4 minutes. I can do this example in 4 minutes until data. Okay. Where'd my mouse go? Where'd it go? All right. Let's hit a replay to whatever the heck this time period was. Actually, doesn't matter when it was. Okay. The market puts in a low there. I'm like, dang, this thing is, market looks super heavy. I should short the low. Okay. So I short the low, right? I think the market's going to fall off a cliff. Millions of other people short the low with me, right? We're super short. Okay. I'm pretty confident it's going to come down to these lows right here, right now, which is why I shorted the low instead of shorting the highs, right? Not the smartest. Uh-oh. 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 So once the market, I'm severely red, okay? So all of these people get trapped short, okay? This is a short trap. And we've all done this, especially as newbies, okay? This is a short trap. People who short the lows along the highs are, we'll just say they're novices. I want to say dumb, but we've all been dumb. We've all been novices, okay? Look at how rangy the market is, and you can see why this is generally a bad idea. Breakout trading is generally a bad idea. Are there breakout trades? 1000% absolutely yes. But you need a system to identify them. If you are a breakout trader by default, you're missing most of the opportunity in the market. Or I would recommend just being a breakout swing trader. It's way easier to breakout swing trade or just trade breakouts on a higher time frame, in my opinion, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. Think about it. I'm sure you'll understand why I said that. Okay. So once this comes back to my entry, what am I going to do when this comes back to me? Okay, right? Now I'm short, so the way that I get out is by buying, right? So me and all the millions of other people who shorted the lows like absolute geniuses, okay, this gaps down, we're gonna slap buys on. So there's a ton of buy side liquidity that enters the market once we come back here. So we gap down a settlement open, okay? And this is part of the ranginess. It's not the only reason that the market ranges, by the way, okay? It isn't. But it's a reason why we see pressure increase from aggressors, right? So there's an increase of buy side aggressors at the edge, right? Because we know that people are trapped here, right? People have to act here. Also, on the other side, I like to use the traps, but technically, okay, there are people who also shorted up here. All right, if we do the other side of this, all right, we use the smart people. The trap people are going to be the most squeamish. Okay, but there are also people who shorted up here, okay, and who are looking to take profit down here, right, in this area, okay? And because they shorted here, the way that they get out is they buy, same size. So you have people who are taking profit at the edge, and you have people who are trying to just get break even or save themselves at the edge, right? Both are buy side aggressors in this case. It's the exact opposite for the other side of the market, by the way. If you're like, Forrest, how's it work on the other side? Flip all the terminology around. It works the opposite way, okay? We've got data here, just came out. Go to lowers real quick. Nice little data candle there, nice little rip there, okay? What I'm really interested in now is seeing what happens over the next 15 minutes or so as we go to 10 a.m. So we're going to want to look at some higher time frame candles. Let's just go to the 4 hour really quickly, okay? So here's that 4 hour doji I mentioned. Actually, I didn't mention that doji. I was thinking of the daily candle. Nonetheless, I did mention on the daily that this was likely to interfere with the weekly today. We're likely to chop today, right? Really easy to see. We swept the low early. It's going to range higher. We also do have this trend line higher and this node right here, okay? Look at that little node right here. So it'll be grindy on the weekly. Now, my stop way up here, right? On the weekly. Let me go to the 4 hour. Really good song just came on. Distracted the heck out of me. So still swinging short. If we come up and tap this trend line, I'll look for another short entry. That'll be a good little short entry. And, you know, worst case scenario, I go break even on the short. I will move my stop to break even at this point. I've made, you know, probably another 1,500 points just trading this range. You know, I'm up, for reference, guys, if you think that's crazy, I'm up 250 points today, okay? 250 points today. It's 9:46 a.m., okay? So there's plenty of opportunity here if you trade the VP. What we got here? Those are the areas where the market will react the most. Yes, 100%. And I would even use the words, and I want you to write this down, okay? Open up your notepad, get out pen and paper if you have a pen handy, okay? The market has to react at these levels, okay? It has to, at least once. Now, the time frame and the magnitude of the volume there will determine how sticky or how much of a reaction we get. But the market has to react there. Just like you guys, okay, when you're trading your prop account, let's just use a prop account, right? Because those are the things that you guys blow up the most. Real account, you're going to be more careful. But just imagine you're trading your little prop account, right? And it starts to come back to your entry. You're freaking out. You're freaking out, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. These hedge funds, these large positions, right? Some guy who just got a $10 million account to trade. He's a professional trader. He is freaking out when the market comes back to his entry, okay? Carbs in the house. Good morning. Welcome to the party, brother. I just realized my daily plan is all unbeatable. Can you guys even see this? Can't. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. There we go. So this is the plan we did this morning. If you want the template to this, the link is stand.store/trading with Forrest. Check it out. Courses in there as well. If you're not in the Discord, check out our Discord. Okay. I don't know if Soul is streaming today. Soul streams every other day. Best trader I know. Oh, he's off today. So if you want to see another amazing trader, probably the best trader I've ever met, join our Discord, which is, I think, linked somewhere on here. wap.com/tradeedge. Will there be another giveaway? Yes, there will. Yes, there will. Let's see if I can do like one a week or something. Looks like we have a new, yeah, there's a new promotion as well. Oh, this is from about a week ago. I gotta become a better partner. I'm actually a terrible partner, guys. I don't say terrible, but I don't push things and shill nearly as aggressively as I probably even should. There's like a minimum amount, and I'm like right here. I kind of just do my own thing and like, hey, yo, use my code if you want to. So I'm trying to get better at doing that. Let me see if this promotion is still going. What the available until the nope, it literally started. That one's over. I need to create like an automation. I'm actually going to do this today. I'm going to add this to my checklist today. I'm going to create an automation. I will scan my email and just send me a dump of all of the good deals for the week. There are a lot of really good deals that are like promos that like MFF does and stuff that I just don't even talk about because I'm just like busy trading, and it's really an excuse more than anything else. Honestly, just don't look. I really should, huh? Pushing higher. All right, we got overnight high coming up. We have been uptrending since the morning, so we have like an in shape kind of continuation going. All right, so just want to be aware of that. I'm up 250 on the day. I do think there's going to be another trade here today. I want to be careful here this morning, though. Okay. We have this trend line above us. Prior day high on ES is much higher, right? As well as prior day high on NQ, right? I shouldn't need to mark them out, but I just will, just for the visual little. I just hate having stuff over my charts. So we got prior day highs. Both charts are way higher. We already swept prior day low. It's very unlikely we get there, but we could traverse some more of this node here up to the value area high. We already came pretty close to it. There's a value area high here. There's this other POC here. There's a lot of upside that doesn't require us, including retesting this trend line, that doesn't require us to sweep this high, right? I just want to be cognizant of that, right? We're in a very, very, very rangy market right now, okay? And as noted in my daily plan, which we must not forget, otherwise it's a huge waste of time, we had the Friday close as a high volume doji that did sweep the low. This could fight our weekly thesis a bit and create chop. Now this is chop on the day, so within this time frame, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, there's literally hundreds of points of opportunity. Okay, so chop within the day, lots of opportunity here. So I'm going to play the range. I'm going to be exceptionally patient now. I'm already 2 for 2 on the day, and I do not want to overtrade. I would rather miss every other trade today than lose a single dollar. Okay, I will say that again. I would rather miss out on every other trade today than lose a single dollar, because the trades that I took were exceptionally easy trades. They were brain off trades. Okay, I'm hugely adamant about low effort trading, right? Things that fit your system. Could I take some lower quality trades that I can call out? Some of the other, like I said this morning on in our morning planning, there's plenty of things I call out that I don't take. Those are lower quality, right? They're more coin flippy. If I wait to trade at an edge, at minimum, my actual risk, my alpha, not my point risk, but like the alpha on the trade is much more in my favor, right? The likelihood of it, my thesis playing out, is higher overall. Okay, and then I can back into that. If the percent chance of the outcome happening is higher, then it's easier to manage my risk towards that outcome, right? Just different types of risk. There's the odds that the actual, what I think is going to happen is going to play out, and then there's the risk to my capital stack, and how do I manage the risk to my capital stack while I play a thesis. Okay, 2 different types of risk. People, literally no one ever talks about it. So something to think about though, okay? There's a 100% chance, I'll give you an example. Let's say that there's a 100% chance, there isn't, by the way. Let's just say, for the sake of example, there's a 100% chance that we're going to this arrow. Just because there's a 100% chance that the price is going to get to this arrow maybe within 8 hours doesn't mean you won't blow your account on the way up. Okay, those are 2 different types of risk, right? Let's make this more salient for you guys, right? Let's say, well, let's speak in extremes, for example. Okay, let's just say, for example, okay, not real, 100%, chance it goes here. Okay, so that's my thesis. And through my system, maybe I have some edge. I think it's 100%, right? Maybe it's 80, maybe it's 60, whatever. So then the question is, as a trader, how much can I risk? How much drawdown can I accept, okay, on the way there? This is the trading part, okay? So I've got my thesis, and then I got to figure out how can I get there. If I, Forrest, have $10 million, how I get there is going to be different than how you get there if you have $100,000 or $1,000, okay? Because maybe I'm like, I'm going to do, I don't know, 10 NQ long, okay? For you, that might be 1 MNQ long, okay? Because the market's not going to just go straight there, right? The market's going to zig and zag. Maybe you also know that on the way there, it's going to come all the way down to a 50 fib retest and then come here, right? If you know it's going to do a 50 fib retest on the way to this thesis, there's a few things you can do. You can either wait to long down here. You can take the long here with a smaller amount of risk, eat all the drawdown, knowing it's going to come back to you. Both are acceptable. It doesn't matter, right? It's up to your system. But that's the trading part, right? So there's two different types of risk, right? You have to understand the odds of your thesis actually playing out, and then you have to be able to manage your capital in order to actually make money on the way there without blowing up your account and without hitting your margin requirements. Okay? That's the game. That is the game. Keep that in idea. I should do a. I mean, I'm actually not going to do a video on it because these advanced topics, honestly, nobody watches. I'll talk about it with you guys though, especially as you start trading options. Really, really, really keep this in mind, okay? Because theta, right, your ability to manage time around your thesis is really, really important with options. Okay, that timing component and risk to your capital stack becomes extremely important with non-linear products. Okay. Quad said LOL. Yeah, I mean it's just like, dude, if you my YouTube videos, I used to spend hours, especially when I was trading equity options. Like I would do breakdowns on, financial reports and all this stuff, and then, everybody just has TikTok brain, dude. People just want to see a video. It's just like, you gotta short this full value fucking, wick thing, and you'll make money, like right now. If I literally said that on my Instagram, it would get a gazillion clicks, like verbatim. Verbatim. All right, let's see where we are. We're coming close to this overnight high. We actually swept the overnight high on ES. It's pushing higher. Overnight high on NQ is on the way. It's coming up. 21,945. Traversing this node here. Holding that initial long would have been nice. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. To be honest, though, I did not have any foresight that it was going to do an in-shape bounce at that point in time. So it's not even, I mean, I could write it down, but it's with a 945 data point, it's just not something that I would probably ever trade around, especially counter to my macro thesis. Just not something that I would hold, but it's worth calling out, I guess, on the session. So we just swept overnight high on NQ. So the question right now is, do we go for the trend line? Right? Let's take a look at ES's VP structure. Okay, we got prior day high up here. There's a big meat chunk of volume right here. We just swept that overnight high. Okay, here's that 6,051 that I mentioned in our morning planning. Okay, you see that we came and we traversed this almost to the penny. Look at that. Okay, so I said 51, 52 this morning. It came up to like 48. Okay, pretty close, right? We can see how important the volume profile is, this edge here. As soon as we get to this extreme drop off, it rejects. Why? Because there's no one there. Well, that's not true. There are people there. There's significantly less people here, right? So it reacts at least once. Remember, I said every edge, every node will get a reaction at least once. The strength of that reaction depends on the trend and a bunch of other things, but you will get a reaction, right? So got that touch here. Am I going to short here? I'm not. This would be the first place that I would look to short at this point in time. All right, I already took another short earlier, but this first reversal down here, I took that one. I'm not going to take this one just because of the strength of this green here. Okay, it is also 10 a.m. So let's see. We had a very high volume up candle. Yeah, I'm not shorting that. Okay, very uppy in the morning here. I'm really just I'm gonna wait for this trend line. I'm gonna put an alert right here. Message approaching the trend line. Okay. Huh? There we go. Approaching that trend line on NQ. Have an alert there. So even though we just cracked overnight high, I'm opting out of the short due to the strength. We've got 1, 2, 3. Wow, my alert just deleted itself. Let's try this again. I think TradingView is exploding. Come on, TradingView. Error saving, please try again. All right, there's something up with TradingView. We've got 1, 2, 3 up candles on the 4 hour. Okay. So I'm going to opt out of shorting into that. All right, guys. So this is more brain on trading here at this point, which honestly I just don't like to do. I like my easy money. I got 250 points of easy money this morning. I'm going to stick to my guns. A-Lock Top G. That's a name. That is a name. We got any newbies in the chat? If you're new here, say what's up. Holler at your boy. Pushing higher. Let's clean up my ES chart a little bit. All right, so overnight high is off the table. We can remove that line. There's no reason to keep it there if it's not relevant to our activity. Okay, this is a line that exists. We don't really have a good trend line on ES. So the next best trend line is going to be right here. Okay, so let's see if we come and kiss that on ES. And we've got a similar line on NQ here. Dallon's new. He's lying, guys. Dallon is one of our mods, admins, Trade Edge. Best place on the internet if you want to check it out. Dallon, you can drop a link in the chat. wap.com/tradeedge if you don't mind. Come check us out. Let's see. Just writing out an email. You see how we're just pushing higher? Well, I'm not shorting into these three greens. Now, shorting up candles, I keep saying green. Shorting up candles are not literally white candles. Shorting up candles does make sense, right? You want to short up candles and long down candles, but in this case, you want to also pay attention to the relative strength. And we have a very obvious market edge here, right? We have a nice trend line, right? Nice little edge that we can deal with. So let's see if we can get some confluence with that node, right? And this trend line here, right? So there's that node right there that we know about. Let's see if we can get a short in that area. What is this? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Coming up, getting very close to the trend line on ES and in Q. I'll flash my VP on here real quick. I need a hotkey for this. I'm going to set that up. There's got to be I'm gonna figure that out. Honestly, surprised today has been really strong considering weekend breaking news. Today hasn't been strong, right? We're just ranging. So the semantics are critically important in trading and in life, right? So what we've had is we've traversed the previous auction. This range here, by the way, we know that there are tons of people positioned here, right? So we're just going across this entire set of people being positioned. That's all we're doing, just ranging. That's why, obviously news matters, like, wars matter and things like that, but, if people are green on their positions or if they're max pain, that's the only thing that's going to make them trade. Strong from the opening? Yeah, I know what you meant. It's something I'll always call out because how you think affects what you do, and what you do affects your performance. Made decent profit, not excellent profit. Hey, profit's profit. These are small trends inside the overall macro trend. You can see it like that. I honestly do not think about the news at all. This news, the relevant thing about this news in particular is I would think about what's the most, anytime we've had a similar event where the U.S. has striked a country, okay, and the market did not have an immediate adverse reaction to it, what was the second wave, okay? That's what you guys should be thinking about. You need to be thinking like next level about this stuff, okay? When was the last time we had this exact set of steps? 1, 2, 3. What was steps 4, 5, and 6? That's what you need to be thinking about, okay? When 1, 2, 3, not when 1, what's 2? No, when 1, 2, 3, what's 4, 5, 6? When we do a first strike, okay, market open, settlement, it gaps, it ranges, is there a delayed or other action in the market that has consistently occurred? I don't have the answer to that. I don't know. Okay, my thesis was it really wasn't going to matter and we were going to range, right? So I played that long, and then that's what I would be thinking about if I was going to trade the news. But the initial reaction to the news is like you're coin flipping. Thanks for all the great videos. No problem. I try. Some of them are great. Some of them I kind of phoned it in. I'm not going to lie to you guys. You guys want to know how many YouTube videos I've made? I was talking to somebody about life and coaching, right? And what it takes to be successful. And I was like, dude, I've made over 1,000 videos, guys. 1,000. Okay? 1,000. How's the challenge going? It's going. It is going. Dallin suggests you a few. Yep. We have in our Discord, there's a list of like the top hits, really the ones that are useful, really useful for the newbies, understanding like how to read the candles like we do, how to read the volume profile like we do. So we have a nice set of those in our Discord that we like curated and we organized just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, right? So we did do that. You know, I watched 1,000 of your videos. Yeah. Well, the point there, guys, is that it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort. By no means do I have, organic virality. I just, through pure force of will, grew my channel. Okay. I literally it's just work for me. I just made it work. I just made it a process. I have a weekly process where I film videos, things like that, because I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to reach people and be able to have my own platform so I could positively affect the world in my own way. So I just kept beating that drum. That's how it works with a lot of things, guys. It's going to be way, 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 way harder. All right, if I told you right now you're going to have to do 1,000 videos, hopefully it'd be less. Probably less for most of you guys. You're probably better than me, but most people just give up. Same with trading. Most people give up. I say, hey, you got to journal every day. You got to organize your thoughts every day before you risk money in the markets. And you go, oh, I don't want to do that, Forrest. Can you just give me the silver bullet? I wish I had a silver bullet. If I did, I'd use that shit for myself. Almost to our trend line. Approaching it quickly here. It's just all about loving the process, though, Loving. If you love walking, you'll get pretty far. All right, so now that we're approaching this trend line up here, there's this little edge up here, okay, right around here. All right, we're close to the trend line. Let's see if we can get a reaction to it. The point of control is much lower at this point. So we're at 983 on NQ, for example. POC is at 883. About 93 points of opportunity there. If we come through it and traverse lower, right, I don't think we're going to hit VAL again today, right, but there's some good opportunity there. Let's see if NQ gets a little bit higher, though, up to its trend line before we take any action. And to be honest, guys, at this point, it's 10:15. I really don't want to get chipped. I've had a clean, easy day so far. We'll see. I really want to be patient and get this trend line. Either I'll get this trend line touch to the penny, or we'll see if we get a signal candle on one of the lower time frames. I'd rather not, but on a rangy day like this, I'll accept it. We do have this massive imbalance here in this candle, though. Okay, so I can see us easily. I can see us traversing. Basically all of this bottom wick. To be honest. See what we get. Making money in a personal account is uniquely satisfying. It is, man. I started trading way before prop accounts were popular. I mean, prop trading has always existed, right? There've been prop houses, like brick and mortar prop houses. Online prop trading has been a thing for like 2 years now. So, I mean, obviously I've done it, but I had to be convinced. Soul convinced me to get into it originally. I was like, why the heck would I do this? But it's a great way to get access to leverage, right? It is an amazing tool for new traders, undoubtedly, if you can manage your risk well. Obviously, most of these firms, well, not most of them, every single prop firm makes money based off the fact that most people fail, which is fine. Honestly, don't have any qualms with that, right? I mean, if you're an adult and you decide to throw your money away, it's on you, homie. But if you have edge and can use that leverage wisely, it's a great way to get started. Oh, you convinced Soul? That's how you met? Yeah. Well, you convinced Soul, and Soul convinced me. Oh, yeah. But the point there is, like, yeah, trading your own account, especially if you have a small account, really keeps you grounded. It really keeps you grounded. So, chasing, like, if you think about how crazy it is to take a prop account, right? Even my funded futures 150K expert account, best account in the game, by the way. If you want to grab one, use code TradeEdge. That's a $15,000 account. Right? It's a 150K account. The Apex accounts, a 50K Apex account is a $2,500 account. It's not $50,000. Right? You have a $2,500 account with trailing, and people are trying to turn that into 5, 10K payouts. If you understood how mad that was, if you put $2,500 into a Ninja account, a personal account, and then try to turn that into 15K, like you'd be way more patient on the way. So trading a personal account is just a really, really good way to stay grounded, stay reasonable. You can pay yourself. I highly recommend all new traders pay yourselves on a weekly basis if you're profitable. Take every single dollar above your starting balance out of your account. If you could turn $2,500 into 5K every week, every month, even if it's a month, you turn $2,500 into 5K every month, you're making $2,500 a month. Take it out. Do not continue to build that account. Put all those profits, hold them somewhere. You don't have to spend it, but take it out, put it somewhere else. Then you can make a conscious decision to fund your account at a new level, right? So you do that for a few months, and you've got 20K, and you say, okay, now I'm not going to trade a $2,500 account, now I'm going to trade a 10K account. So then you put 10K in there, and you do the same thing. You take every dollar over 10,000 out, and you keep doing that, and then you make a conscious decision, like, okay, now I'm going to trade a 25K account or a 50K account, right? It's a much healthier way to do that. It stops you from getting into the infinite account growth mode where you don't pay yourself, which is, I mean, if you're trading and consistently profitable, you should be paying yourself. There's no reason to just grow that account infinitely. It doesn't make sense. And it keeps you grounded on, making a couple $100 a day, which is really good money for literally everyone. I don't care how much money I make, guys, right? I've had the opportunity in life to make multiple seven figures from various sources, not just from trading, right? I made my first seven figures, working in Silicon Valley. Uh, if you handed me $400, I'd still be excited. It's $400. It feels good that no matter what happens with prop shenanigans, I already made the money in some form. Yeah, 100%. It's your money. It's real money. You could spend it. If you only make $100 today, you could transfer it out today. And I recommend doing this. If you're a new trader and you made $100 today, transfer that money out at the end of today. Okay, go save some, spend some, and remind yourself the value of that. Right? When minimum wage is whatever the heck it is, and you can make that much money in a few minutes, like, you should not be chasing these massive payout targets. It makes no sense. You don't need that much money to change your life. Is it generally a good idea to trade first touch rejection of a trend line with a tight stop? Is it generally? Yes, but there are a lot of caveats. I'll say generally yes, right? If you take the trend line touch with a tight stop, that's a good trade overall. You're trading an obvious edge. What we know right now, though, is that we've already disrespected this trend line. So we're likely to disrespect it again. I just want to call that out in this case. So that's where the VP comes into place, right? So I took this POC short, not on, well, there's like kind of two signals here, right? There was the actual candle itself, so there's a 1 hour high volume top wick. Then there was also this naked POC that was here, right? So you can align, knowing that the market's going to traverse nodes, you can align your stop with node traversals, right? So either the back of a candle, so if say we come up to this trend line, here I have to be aware of the fact, like, okay, there's a little bit of volume here, right? It could come here. We've already disrespected the trend line once. So I could align my stop, or I could just put my stop way up here, right? At the back of this candle. Even though I'm taking a trend line trade, my thesis is we're not going to sweep this candle. That's probably the best stop you could do in this scenario. Will be this candle. So just some food for thought. But generally speaking, yeah, those first touches, the tight stop, it's a good trade. Just know that NQ will crack these a little bit sometimes. ES as well, but not so much. But this is just one example, but it's pretty consistent behavior for how these tickers behave, or a pretty good example for how these behave. $400 comment. The same thing he has referenced in his past video. Exactly what separates Forrest from other traders, from other trading creators. Thanks, man. I try. Brother. Pushing a little bit. I'm your hero. You're gonna make me blush, AB. You're gonna make me blush through my melanated skin. Want to be like me? Well, I've got some rough edges like everybody else, but I truly, truly appreciate you sharing that. That's why I do it. All right, so we got the first touch on ES. NQ still has some room here. Could like set aside $1,000 for every MQ contract in personal. Yeah, you're gonna feel so good. By the way, it almost doesn't even matter. There are better plans than others, but I would even posit, which just means position in our conversation. The idea. I love the word posit. That's a good word, by the way. Add it to your vocabulary. I would posit that any plan is a good plan, right? You're gonna feel so good if you, as a trader, say, "All right, over the next month, I'm going to do this on a weekly basis. Every dollar I'm going to take out, I'm going to put it into this account, and then every $1,000 that I get, I'm going to add another contract," right? Because you're going to feel like a machine, right? You're going to turn something that's very subjective, which is trading, into a set of very objective steps, right? And when you do that, that's why for me it's so easy for me to ignore stuff, right? Just flat out ignore it, not in a bad way. Like when people tell me things, like I'm not like, "Oh, that's stupid" or anything. I just go, "Oh yeah, that's cool." But like I have a plan. Like I know what I'm doing. I'm not like, when people tell me stuff, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should try that." It's just like, "Oh yeah, well, that's cool. Let me know how it goes." But I already have a plan. So it's easier to just stay focused, stay on your path when you have a plan. And again, it doesn't really matter what it is. Some are better than others. All right, through testing your ideas, you'll get better at planning. That's why we come on and we plan every morning at 7:30 a.m. Show you guys how simple and straightforward it is. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's pretty useful. Where I journal my trades. So I have, this is my 30-day challenge kind of journal. This is really just for daily planning. I have a separate Notion where I also do the same thing, and then I use TradeZella for this, the automatic. So TradeZella does all my, it just pulls in everything just automatically from all my different accounts, right? It's a combination. I personally like Notion though, because it makes things stickier in my brain. Anything that I write down, it's really easy for me to recall, right? So I can remember thoughts and ideas from, even last week because I wrote them down. Tell you to wait for the trade and use good risk management. Well, thank you, Quad. Quad's one of the most consistent traders I've ever met, by the way. He's an amazing trader himself. Well, I appreciate that, Quad. But you are a great trader. Quad is a great example of you can make a lot of money with base hits, right? He makes a couple $100 most days from what I could see. And he is outpacing 99.9999. Even traders who have these really big outsized days, Quad is making more money than. Quad is QQQQ trader, by the way, Quad Q. He's outpacing those people because those people have big red days, right? So Quad is very consistent with his base hits. He's making a couple $1,000s every month, on his green months, which is better than literally most people. Mostly mean reversion trades. Yep. Easy trades. So the market today is a good example. We're very likely going to get sucked into this POC, right? I could short here just off that thesis, right? We are rejecting this first touch here. So it's really a question of drawdown. But knowing that we're in a rangy market and we have the weekly top wick, we're in an area where shorting can make sense. Just understanding that all of this up here really to this wick is acceptable drawdown. That's 141 points of drawdown. Now, if you're willing to eat that, you could short now. Personally, because I've had two really good trades with really good risk on those trades, by the way. Okay, my trades didn't just hit. I also had really good risk on those trades. I'm going to be a little more patient. I want to see if NQ goes a little bit higher here. Maybe I'm wrong and I miss this trade, but just from a timing perspective, I'm okay with that. Okay, we still have this push here. We're grinding here. We're very close to value area high. I really want to see if NQ is going to give me this trendline touch. If I miss out on this, this will fit with what I said earlier, right? I would rather miss all the rest of the trades of the day than shit myself. But I'd rather take that. I could have taken the first touch on ES, right? ES did touch a trend line. You could short that. It's a good trade here on ES, okay? It's like to the penny. Understanding, though, that it still might come back up, right? Prior day high is right there. Anything, we're very unlikely to sweep prior day high, but we can come all the way up to like 80, 90% of it, guys, okay? So keep that in mind. Anything less than a sweep is not sweeping it. So I'm going to be patient. Use TradeZilla too. Awesome. I should get a TradeZilla link. Umar, I met him. He was at my studio with Riz. If you follow Words of Wisdom, basically all the video he's posting for like the next probably 2 months were filmed in my studio. So I met all those traders. But Umar, he's the one who made TradeZilla, met him. He's a cool guy, super chill. But yeah, TradeZilla is a great tool. Is my inner circle pretty big or small? I would say exceptionally small. I really keep to myself, guys. Like, I really do. I say no to most things, and I really, it's actually so bad that I'm working on saying yes to more things and getting out there. I made a conscious decision to talk to more traders this year. That's how little I was actually trying to engage with other people. Mostly because I didn't see it being useful. When I first started trading, so much of the stuff that I was watching and digesting was just a waste of time. It's tradertainment type of crap. The whole reason I arrived at this system, which we call VPE, which we just need to give it a name, is just through thousands of hours of testing. Okay, you can watch my video, you can see it's all like publicly journaled. Like I used to have way more indicators and stuff like that. So just arrive at this point through just testing tons of ideas. Okay, so it's probably not an original idea, but I did arrive here independently, right? I have seen other traders who trade similarly, right? But I still, it's just it's so psychological that you want to be really really careful with what you put in your brain in general, but just around trading ideas, right? So I'm careful of that, but like I said, I'm being more open. There are people with really good ideas out there. So now that I've arrived at a place where I feel like I have a really solid edge and I'm chill with it, I'm open to talking to people, basically. But yeah, my inner circle is small. It's like 2 people. I don't talk to people. I'm a basement dweller, guys. I'm not in a basement. I'm in my Miami apartment, but I do this. I go to the gym, run my business. I break dance at the studio. My type of people are like artists, right? I like hanging out with dancers, people that make music, other various types of art, graph, stuff like that. Those are my type of people. Even though I am in like the business hustle space, technically, it's not my crowd. Not my crowd of people. We're pushing a little bit higher. Yes, on ES looks perfect. You can see here that we're still hovering around value area high though, right? So this is the concern. And really important, what does the VP look like right now to what it looks like this morning? Okay, it's getting similar. So we went from a very skewed shape to more of a D shape. Now we're getting skewed again. What happened last time the VP was skewed, guys? All right? Anybody in the chat know what happened last time the VP was skewed like this? What happened? What can we expect to happen? Very likely at some point today. You have the answer in front of you, by the way. You can go to chart replay on like the 5 or the 15 minute. Go back to around 7:50 this morning. See what happened, right? See how the VP shifted. Okay, the auction's getting stretched out again. Probably move slowly. Not just moving slowly. So we're in a very rangy market. It's likely to range again. Okay, so we're very likely, I'll draw this out. We're very likely to come up. Okay, let's say we touch this trend line or not. We're very likely to come down and probably do like a 50 fib retest of this area pin at POC. Okay, this would be my thesis for the rest of the day. We could, and I do want to be cognizant of the exception of today. While news doesn't matter, right? If the president gets on TV today or there's some other escalation in the conflict, we will see a fast candle. And I wrote that down in our notes here. Okay, Israel shot some missiles, USA shot some missiles at Iran. War stuff. More war stuff means that we see some seriously fast candles. So we've already notated that, okay, in our daily notes. So that is in our brain space. My thesis, assuming that doesn't happen, is that we range like we have been ranging and then we pin, okay? So just keep that in mind. I would definitely have some stops on today. I notoriously, not notoriously, I don't think I'm notorious for this. I do trade without stops a lot of the time. Okay, I have mental stops and alerts, or if I'm asleep, I'll set a stop. Like overnight, I'll set stops. When I'm watching my trades, I usually don't have a stop on because I wait until the very edges of the market. If you're curious why I trade without stops, once I moved to the higher time frames, it didn't matter. On the lowers, if I'm trading like the 5 or the 15, then I would heavily utilize stops. Okay, there's too much volatility at those areas, especially if you're trading inside the edges. You want some stops. If you're waiting for entries at the literal edges of the markets, it's super simple for you to just see if your trade idea is going to work out, right? Do we need a stop place for MFF? I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe. Got to check their rules. I think for a lot of prop firms, they're probably gonna require you to have stops and things like that. This is part of the game. Don't take my or anyone's words for it on what rules will or won't get you in trouble, especially with the different account types. Just go check for yourselves. I'm not even gonna try to keep up with it. It's just really hard for me to track all that stuff. I've been looking into the rules. Yeah, I'll just chat GPT it. See if chat can give me an answer quickly. Oh wow, it's 10:40. All right, I gotta run. 10 minutes over my planned time. Kind of lost track of time there. Thanks for joining. I'll be on tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. We're gonna stop at 8:30. If you want to see the rest of the day, make sure you join our Discord. Soul will be streaming. Okay, he'll be on usually by 9:30. He might be on at like 9 or a little bit earlier. Make sure you plan. If you need help planning, tomorrow 7:30 a.m. ish, right? Depends on how long it takes me to do my stretching and all that in the morning. But we'll be planning for the day and making sure that we have the opportunity to even be successful. We don't really want to rely on luck as traders. We want to have a game plan and trade our plan. Cool, cool. All right, y'all. Have an amazing day. Stay positive. If you had a rough start to the day, take a little break. There's always tomorrow. Today is not that important in the grand scheme of things, right? It'll pass. And if you had an amazing day, write down what worked for you. You want to try to replicate good behavior from yourself. Replicate what you did yesterday. Is there something special about today? Did you wake up earlier? Did you eat different breakfast? Did you drink different coffee? Maybe you didn't drink coffee. Maybe you did drink coffee. All right, maybe it was the planning with me in the morning that helped you out. Whatever it was, okay, don't let today be exceptionally good. You want today to just be an average good day, right? If you had a good day, figure out how you can make that the norm for you, right? So write it down, journal it, figure out what worked, try to make it happen again. All right, see you all